Uh, uh, Hello, this is Kurt Warner. The library has always been my favorite room in the White House, and it's easy to see why. Lots of books there. In the early days, presidents brought their own libraries with them at the White House, and they took them when they left. It wasn't until Millard and Abigail Fillmore moved in 1850 did they get an appropriation from Congress to begin a library. They set it up in the Oval Room on the second floor. The room was lined with shoulder-high bookshelves made out of mahogany. It was all very swank. The Oval Room began to be used for other purposes, however, and all of the books and the bookcases were removed and put in the center hall of the second floor in 1929. FDR thought that the former smoking room in front of the men's lavatory on the ground floor would make a swell library, and so he asked White House architect Lorenzo Winslow to draw up plans to do that very thing. All of the shelves were milled by the White House carpenters. Of course, that reiteration of the library probably looks a lot different than the library that we see today, which is reconstructed after the Truman renovations. But I've always really liked this room. It's a great combination of respect for books and knowledge and a stately appearance that the White House seems to trade in. So let's color in this fabulous room. Because the library is my favorite room in the White House, I've decided to take you on an extended journey in how I ink and color it in. And hopefully you won't get too bored. Or you can let me know. Anyway, it all starts out with a pencil. And we cover that with a sheet of render paper. Bad thing about this render paper is that they used to make this in big rolls, and now they don't anymore. They may only make it in big pads. So I actually have to tape two pieces together and place that over a strategic place where it won't show very much. But I remove it digitally later anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Then we turn on our backlights. I sort of envisioned this as being a look at the library down through the East Room floor, which is all torn out so that you can see into it. But part of Curto's rule of inking is that you do the things that are in the front to the back, and that means that I need to start inking in these front bookshelves, which is convenient because all of the books are facing backwards. So the way that we do that is we go to the famous Google Maps pictures of the library, and we extract out the pictures of the books in the bookshelves that are pertain to the bookshelves that we're drawing. So, consulting with the picture of the books, which are oriented in the right direction, you can see that what these books would look like if you were looking at them from behind. Think of this as stunt drawing. This is kind of like the drawing equivalent of doing a wheelie, that somebody would be crazy enough to draw all of these books exactly based on what they really are there. And I'm sure that they've been moved around and etc. since these photos were taken, but it's the thought that counts. Okay, so now that we've got the library all inked, we can move on to putting in the big colors. And the biggest color in the library, of course, are the walls. And the question is, are they yellow? I mean, they're obviously yellow, but what kind of yellow? The trick here is that we want the fireplace marble to appear white. So I'm going to leave that the paper color. So this yellow color needs to contrast with the paper slightly. I'm looking for a light yellow, and I've decided that I'm going to use a combination of 3 pens: cream yellow, light cool gray, and blush pink. So it's going to be 3 colors that we're going to lay down here to do this. So the light yellow, of course, gets it into the light yellow zone. The gray brings the yellow intensity down, and then the blush pink gives it a certain warmth that it wouldn't have otherwise. The next thing to do is to put in the next biggest color, which I'm going to call the red of the bookshelves themselves. And that goes in easy enough. And then we can turn our attention to the books. The easiest way to do this without going insane is to get yourself a assortment of pens that kind of look like a lot of the book spines that you're going to be doing, and then to just go across the thing from one book to another. Like the first one is a dark green, so and the next one is a darker blue. And the next one after that is a English red. And the next one after that. Okay, that's enough books. Now we move on to coloring in the furniture. Brown rules supreme here. I think what I like the most about coloring in the furniture is that there's a lot of freedom involved in it. Each piece of furniture is not going to make or break the overall composition. It's not like putting in one of the big colors. So I rather enjoy the spontaneity of coloring in the furniture. Each piece gets its own attention and its own colors and details and problem solving, and it's a lot of fun. The last thing I want to show you today, again, is carpets. The carpet in the library is elaborate as usual, but fortunately you can grab photographs of it utilizing Google Maps. So I get myself some sense of what colors will work best to replicate the colors of the carpet. And then we just, like anything else, you just divide it up into what needs to happen next. There's a border, and then there's another kind of border, and then there's another kind of border in the middle of that, and then there are these big kind of cartouche flourishes that are repeated. So the library turned out pretty nicely, I think. I always think that they turn out pretty nicely, don't I? Anyway, in our next chapter, we're going to look at coloring in the diplomatic reception room, which is very challenging because of its historic wallpaper. Had a lot of fun with that. I hope you can join us. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel if you would. Until next time, bye-bye.